Talk to us about Max Meyer and his coincidentally him getting some playing time after now being in the organization till I believe 29. Is it now?
Yeah, till 2029. Good for the Marlins. Congrats. They get another year of Max Meyer. We'll see if he stays with the organization until 2029. But yeah, he should have been up a while ago. They really need the rotation help. Again, only 3 starters right now on the start in that 26-man roster. It's going to be 4 tomorrow when they activate Max Meyer. He's been all right in AAA. It's really just been more of let's get him going a little bit more, kind of putting workload going up little by little. And I believe he went 6 innings one day or 5, but they need a starter badly, and Max Meyer's going to be that guy. Right now, doesn't look like any of the other guys on the IL are close to coming back. We'll see what happens. Definitely has been working on some stuff in AAA. That's maybe why the numbers don't look great, but he was by far the best starter before going down. So maybe he very likely will take that the best starter spot again with not much competition up there with aside from Trevor Rogers, maybe.
I must have missed this. Did he grow out the handlebar mustache?
Yeah, not immediately. I'll try to pin down the date. Felt like maybe in June at some point he started using it. So that picture, it's not his most recent start, but I think this was like within the last few weeks. So I guess tomorrow will be like a really fascinating reveal to find out exactly what he's sporting facial hair wise.
We'll find out today. I'm sure they're going to zoom in on him 15 times during the broadcast. So
yeah,
we should know.
Okay. Yeah. So I did want to show those game logs right there just to get people up to speed that he was pitching really well recently. Last 4 starts, 2 earned runs allowed in 19 innings. Before that, he was really mediocre anyway you slice it, but he did come on lately. And he's been building up to this for a while, for about a month. I don't know if this was communicated directly to him, but about a month ago was when he started pitching more frequently. It was a full week in between starts initially, and now it was 6 days, and then even on one occasion, 5 days in between, which was normal major league rest. And they generally gradually loosened the reins, where it was strictly 4 innings or less every single start for the first 10, 11 starts, and then they let him go past 4 and then past 5, and he had that one outing where he completed 6. Overall, he looks like the same guy that he did before. The velocity is the same. The slider is still awesome. Changeup is still inconsistent. I think that second to last appearance on the 14th is when he picked up a couple of strikeouts with his changeup. 15 starts in AAA. He had 5 total strikeouts with his changeup. Only 5. It's still not a put away pitch at all. It's one that occasionally he locates for strikes, but he's still really relying on his slider to put guys away. So that question is still there, developmental wise. But one of the big motivations here was just to keep him pitching consistently the entire season while also maintaining a reasonable workload. And I think they succeeded in that. If you do the math at this point, it's 75 total innings that he's pitched this year. He could probably stay in the rotation the rest of the year, and he'll set a new career high in innings, but he's not going to blow past it. It could be, fingers crossed, a really nice stepping stone to him being a regular starter with no restrictions next year. But he still needs to prove himself. There's still some questions about whether he'll be a starter. And just to clarify exactly what was going on with the service time thing, I did lay this out in an article on our site earlier today, just to put the numbers behind it. Entered the year 1 year and 82 days of MLB service time. By the time he sent them down, he was still 62 days short of getting a second year of service time. Or I should say 72 days short of getting that second year of service time. They've held him down so that there's less than 72 days remaining in the season, which means that it created this entire extra year of team control. Entering this year, he was due to reach free agency after the 2028 season, and now he is due to reach free agency after the 2029 season. He cannot get there any sooner because of limit on his service time by spending most of the year down in AAA. So there's a little bit more in the article if you guys want to check it out on the site, but there's no doubt that this was a motivation. This is the reason why he was called up today instead of right after the All-Star break, why the Marlins have been using basically 4 starters for almost a month now. I mean, it's been a total mess ever since both Luzardo and Braxton got injured. That was more than a month ago. Ever since then, it's been this carousel in the back end of the rotation. It didn't have to be that way, but was that way because the Marlins apparently still value his future highly enough that they think he can be a major leaguer for a long time in some role, and they want an extra year of control, whether that is for their own team building purposes or whether to increase his trade value. So it's really unfortunate. It's the byproduct of being in a year where you're just not competing whatsoever, where this front office is competing for the future, and they exploited him. There's really no doubt about it. That at that point, once he was down there, they said, well, might as well keep him down because we'd rather have him in 2029 than the rest of 2024. That's where their priorities are.
One eye on the present, one eye on the future.
Can't a player file grievance in a situation like this if he knows that this is the case? Everyone and the grandmothers know this is the case. He knows it's the case. His agent knows this is the case. Why didn't no one say anything?
Yeah, but then they could just say, it's interesting because there's the Chris Bryant one too. I don't know if did he end up filing? I think he did, and he just didn't win.
My point on this, we discussed this off show before, is you just can't really prove this thing to an independent third party that doesn't really know ball, because those are the people that need a rule.
Right.
Like grievance on this stuff. It's so hard to prove this stuff because of all the different ways you can evaluate players. Like there are a lot of ways to spin Max's AAA time to say that he wasn't, they sent him down and he would have come back earlier if he performed a certain way and whatever. It's all subjective. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't take a forensics team to see that he was one of the team's best 5 starting pitching options at the time of his demotion.
He was the best.
Right. So any idiot who doesn't know ball should be able to argue that. But I understand. Obviously, it's very difficult.
The point that Devin makes also is true. I mean, it's hard to win those.
I know, but if there was ever a chance, I don't think this is like the best case for one of these situations, but it's just so interesting to me that it was so obvious what was being done here. You'd think it'd be easy to prove. It was easily one of the best starters they had available, and they didn't. Just like Chris Bryant, he was one of the better 25 men available, and they kept it down for a specific reason. Interesting.
Wasn't it to work on his defense, they said?
They say a whole bunch of horse hockey. It's all hogwash.